Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Weather with Jonathan here, um, with the weather forecast. In today's video, we have a few things to talk about in weather, so let's jump straight into the video. So right off the bat, we already have an atmospheric river, in the Pacific Northwest, and, boy, is it bringing some rain. So we're going to talk about the rain totals and the rain that is expected. And basically, this rain is it's already ongoing. It's currently happening. Because I do live in the Northwest, so I can see it's been going on for about a day. But it's gonna be lasting till about I want to say like 4 p.m. February 25th. So expect it to last into the evening on Tuesday, February 25th. I mean, as you can see here, you can see all this rain. You can see a little bit of snow up in the mountains here. I don't think a ton of snow is expected. It's the mountains. You're gonna get a couple inches of snow, especially because it's an atmospheric river, but I really don't see a lot of snow. Here, if we switch it to the total snowfall here, you can see all the way through February 25th. The mountains in some places you're getting about an inch. In some places you're getting up to like 4 inches, like near Yellowstone, like 50 miles south of Yellowstone, you're getting up to like a foot of snow, maybe a little over, up to like 16 inches, but really not like a ton expected. It's not supposed to be a huge snowstorm for most of the mountains. However, if you are in the Northern Cascades in Washington up here, you can see on this chart here, you can see like they may potentially get up to like 4 feet of snow. If you can see on this chart right here. Um, and then just like all throughout the Cascades. Then in the just like right here near like Mount Hood, all the way down to like Klamath Falls. Here you can see like on Mount Hood, maybe up to 6 to 8 inches of snow. Then you can see like near Mount Jefferson, the Three Sisters, that kind of area. Um, Up to potentially a foot. You can see there's a little bit of green here, and the green represents anywhere from a foot to 2 feet. Um, Bend, I don't think you're gonna get a little bit or a lot of snow. I think you just may get like a light dusting, because as you can see, you guys are like right where my cursor is, and there's not really any snow expected. I mean, maybe like a few flurries, but not a lot of snow is expected for you. Then you're like Klamath Falls in the mountains, um, up to potentially 8 inches. Here you can see the snowfall totals, and that's like about it. Now, looking at the rainfall totals, they do look decent. We are under a flood watch up in the Northwest, I believe. So, please stay safe. If here, you can look on this chart right down below. But anyways, this is precipitation. Some of this, and if you look in the mountains, this is gonna be snow. Um, so that's actually no, it's all gonna be mostly all snow. So if you're in the mountains, don't really worry about rain. You're probably not gonna get a lot. But if you're in like the Willamette Valley here, you can see like up to an inch and a half is possible. But the further south you go, the precipitation totals may go down a little bit to about an inch. And then if you're like near Eugene or like a little bit south towards Grants Pass, you could get maybe about half an inch. So the rainfall totals will definitely go down the further south you go, like Medford, half an inch too, maybe less than that. And then into California, maybe just some light rain. So now taking a look at the rainfall, like the probability for like rainfall. Here you can see this is the excessive rainfall outlook. This is basically like the severe weather outlook, but for rain. So basically, as you can see here, some places are under a slight risk, a marginal risk, or less than 5%, so not anything. You can see here portions of northern Idaho, northwestern Montana, eastern Washington, and northeastern Oregon are under the marginal risk. Then if you look back up into western Oregon, a tiny portion of northwestern California, as you can see where my cursor is, and western Washington, including the Cascades, you can see here, like, I mean, marginal rain risk up to like slight, no moderate or high. It's not getting that bad. But as you can see here, there definitely will be some flooding potentially. So as you can see here, like I'll name a few places, like Portland, you're under a marginal risk for this. Seattle, marginal risk. Salem, marginal risk. Eugene, marginal risk. It's not gonna be terrible, but definitely be prepared because in the Cascades you are under a slight risk. Like I said, most of it will be snow, but there will be some rain, and some of that snow melting will also trigger some of the slight risk. So yeah, and then same like with a tiny little portion where my cursor is in northwestern Washington, slight risk, and then all the way out near the coast of Oregon and a tiny tip of northwestern California, you're under a slight risk. So stay prepared. So now moving on to the East Coast, as you can see here, at the timeline, 10 p.m. March 5th. As you can see, I don't know why I said marched, but anyways, it's March 5th, 10 p.m. As you can see here, you can see the storm here. You can see snow on the northern side. You can see maybe a little bit of like freezing rain precipitation or like snow to rain type precipitation, like a mix of snow and rain. And then you can see that snow carrying all the way down into Louisiana. So you can see here, this is the cold front, this is the warm front. So basically, you can also see the low pressure system 987 millibars in pressure, but as you can see here, you can see there is some intense snow, and this could bring lots of heavy snow. I'll show you the snow totals in a minute, and then you can see that there is lots of rain, and this could potentially cause a little bit of severe weather here. I'm going to go back in time a little bit. You can see this storm 4 a.m. March 4th starting out near the Rockies, and you can see here it combines with this cold air coming down from Canada. You can see this like cold air and like a small like storm with snow in it, and this storm, and you can see this one goes south and this one goes east, and you can see here they kind of combine here. And where they meet, this is 4 p.m. March 4th. You can see a very strong low pressure system has formed. Um, I'm not really sure on the severe weather part for March 4th, like later in the evening. I think maybe like some heavy rain, maybe some small wind gusts, but I don't think anything too bad. But I definitely think the snow will accumulate. I don't think a huge snowstorm's going to happen, but I think you're definitely going to get a couple inches here. So as you can see here, it moves into Iowa. It gets a little bit of strength. You can see here the snow's getting more intense. This is where I think you're going to start to get a little higher of snow totals. I think like in southern Minnesota, southern Wisconsin, that area. Then you can see here as it moves over the Great Lakes, it takes up some of that warm air. And you can see here the snow is really getting intense. And boom, then some rain starts to develop along the cold front of the storm on 4 p.m. March 5th. You can see here, this is where the cold front is. This is my cursor. The cold front's here. The warm front is here. And as you can see here, the snow's still getting intense. The rain is not intense, but it will continue to get more intense. So as you can see here, 10 p.m. March 5th, you can see now the rain is starting to pick up a little bit. Yes, it's still not incredible, but it is starting to pick up a little bit. The snow has stayed about the same. Pretty moderate snow. Not like incredibly intense, but it's getting there. Like it could produce multiple inches of snow and a small snowstorm. Now you can see here 4 a.m. March 6th. Here you can see the rain is starting to pick up a little bit. And this is where we could get a little bit of severe weather in eastern West Virginia. Now this is still like over a week out. It's like a week and a half out to 2 weeks out. So this is not something that is guaranteed to happen. This is just something that may happen. Obviously, the storm will probably happen, but it's definitely going to change. So if you're watching this, don't be alarmed for the snow. Like, be prepared, but like, don't like anticipate too much yet because it's still pretty uncertain. But as you can see here, it starts to like take a more northward track. But you can see here it does bring a lot of cold air down into the United States here, and then you can see it kind of like the storm kind of loosens up. I mean, there may be some like small like wind gusts and like some heavy rain along the New England region as this moves out over the ocean. The snow starts to loosen up a little bit and it's not as intense, and then you can see it does intensify a little bit more in terms of snow. The snow like gets more widespread. As you can see here, it gets a little more widespread, and there will be some lingering snow showers probably over the Great Lakes by March 6th. This is 4 p.m. March 6th, and then you can see kind of just really moves out, but still it's gonna bring a lot of cold air to the New England region, the Northeast, and the Midwest. And this cold air could reach down into like northern Georgia, northern South Carolina. Um, and then with this storm, since it's bringing lots of cold air down southeast, it is actually causing a little bit of snow to develop over the Great Lakes. I don't think that's really going to accumulate a ton. And then it's shaping up for like a track of storms across like this area where my cursor is. I don't have the drawing tool yet. I'll download that. But as you can see here, that storm um, goes through the Midwest, the southern Midwest. Now, I don't think that's going to be too bad. We'll talk about that in a later video if it starts to get more intense. And now let's move on to the heat. Okay, so now we're moving on to the heat that's about to happen in the southern U.S. and the southwestern U.S. So basically, you can see here, this is today's max temperatures. More average temperatures, but this is still getting a little bit warm here. You can see like in the 60s in South Dakota, which is actually kind of warm. And especially here, like in the Willamette Valley in western Oregon, you can see it's getting almost up to 60. This is like pretty decently warm weather for much of the United States, like at this period of time, especially like South Dakota, Minnesota, Oregon, Washington. But as you can see here, in day 2, the temperatures do get even warmer. You can see here they're rising a little bit more, getting to like 65 in South Dakota, my bad, and getting to like 85 in Texas, maybe even getting up to 90 in southeastern California. Then you can see here getting to 90 for sure in southeastern California. This is on Tuesday, February 25th here, and you can see it actually might get into the 70s, the low 70s though, or the high 60s in South Dakota. And then you can see here, as we go into day 4, it's going to really start to warm up in the southeast and especially the west coast. You can see here in western Oregon, 60 to 65 degrees, especially in Medford here. We're looking at potentially 65 degrees. We're looking at warmer temperatures though, the more south we go, because the temperatures are going to get warmer because it's closer to the equator. And yeah, so basically you can see here like maybe even up to 95 in southeastern California. I doubt we're going to get into the hundreds. This is Wednesday, February 26th. And you can see here, if we look at day 5, it's staying about the same, but that warm air is pushing up into the central United States and even into Montana. This is actually like it might actually even get to like up to 60 degrees in north to central Montana and eastern and southeastern Montana. And then you can see here it does really warm up in the southeastern United States. Here you can see this little like pocket of warm air down here. And then day 6, about the same, but the warm air is gonna start to go out of the way for more of the northern United States. It's really gonna cool down a little bit. Not too warm, but on the west coast it is still warming up. As you can see here, the California Valley up to 75, southeastern California 85-ish degrees. You can see here, but the west coast 60 to 65 degrees. Like Medford, you can see 66. Portland 61, Eugene 60, Seattle 55. You can see here these are getting decently warm, and then it's going to start to cool down Saturday, March 1st, as you can see here, especially for the west coast, like Seattle 52, Portland 55, Eugene 54, Medford 58. These are still decently warm temperatures for February, but it's going to start to cool down because we're going to have like the temperatures are going to warm up a little bit again over in like 3 days from Saturday, March 1st. And then it's going to all just drop down because we have a big storm bringing lots of cold air. I'll get to that more in later videos because it's still kind of uncertain. It's a little too early to predict some of that now, but as you can see here, I mean, it is still getting pretty warm. It's cooled down in most of the places, but there is like up to like 60 degrees in some small portions of central and northern and southeastern Montana. And that is like it for the maximum temperature chart. So yeah. Okay, so now we are just looking at the temperature anomalies real quick, just to give you an idea that these temperatures are really getting warm. In the northeast, though, you can see these temperatures are getting a little below average, not too below average, but a little bit below average. But as you can see here, these temperatures are getting warmer in the central United States, into the northwestern and the northern United States, they are making a little push into portions of western Ohio, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, South Carolina, and western Florida. That area, this white area, average temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. But in this yellow to orange red area, you can see here there are above average temperatures, especially in southeastern South Dakota, eastern South Dakota, northeastern Nebraska, a tiny bit of southwestern Minnesota, and northwestern Iowa. And then you can see here just widespread above average temperatures across much of the central United States. But they are going to continue west a little bit into Utah, a small portion of eastern Nevada, northern Arizona, and much of New Mexico and southwestern New Mexico. Sorry, it does look like it's not going to be as above average in temperatures, and the farther west you go, it's going to get less above average and more close to average, especially in California. Here you can see, and then the Pacific Northwest, average to a tiny bit above average. But that is pretty much it for the heat. So thank you guys for coming and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry I have not been uploading lately. I just got a laptop so I can actually upload again. So I will try to upload once or twice per week, like per 7 days. I will almost always, unless I'm not at my house and I'm on a trip, I will almost always upload a video on the weekend. And I will try to upload a video during the week if I have time. So stay tuned for videos. See you in my next video. Bye.